Hi Floss fans, my name's Ella, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm on a little holiday. I've just been filming some little clips about my little getaway this weekend that I'm taking to celebrate 2 years of my PhD. I've still got a year and a bit to go, but I'm rewarding myself for reaching that milestone, and I've come away to Jaja Warong country, and I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, past, present and emerging, and it's also known as Castlemaine in Victoria, and it's a great little regional Victorian town. Lots of beautiful old buildings, lots of great antiques, beautiful scenery. It's winter here, and so it's cold, and I'm in this cozy little red brick barn that's been converted into some accommodation, and just being in this beautiful environment is the soul food that I really need at the moment. But I went to the antique market here, it's called the Mill in Castlemaine, and I came here a year ago and was just astounded at the variety of wonderful treasures to be found, and so I've decided to come back a year later, a bit more aware that this would be my weekend to spend my antique budget for the year, and so I've sort of held off going antiquing much since then to really save for this little weekend treat. So I thought I'd share my antique haul with you. This is going to be just a little holiday Flosstube with some antiquing haul and what I've been working on. I suppose it's not really a Flosstube, it's more just like a little holiday podcast, antiquing and sewing. But hopefully you enjoy that, and yeah, I'd be happy to hear any of your feedback below. Now, today when I walked into the antiquing, this just jumped straight out at me and said, Ella, I was meant to be with you, please take me home. It's a sewing box of unknown vintage, but it's still old, and me using it will be, repurposing it and giving it a new life. I love the dark colour. I love that it's got two little flaps. There was another concertina type, more mid-century sewing box there that I was sorely tempted to get, but 2 sewing boxes were not in the budget today. And another thing that really attracted me to this one is it said sewing box and contents. So I haven't had a look inside yet. We're going to have a look inside together for the first time, but I'll leave that one to the end to keep you hanging. I'll show you some of the other treasures I picked up today. So I have a little 1950s kitchen table and bright red chairs that go with it, and it's a little rectangular table, quite small. It seats 4, and I just love it. My mum bought it for me as a gift, and yeah, it's the little table of my dreams. It just makes me feel happy every day that we use it, and which is every day. And so it sort of put me in mind of finding cute vintage tablecloths when I can, that will suit the style. And I came across a couple of great vintage tablecloths today at a reasonable price, which I snapped up. So this is the first one. I loved the bright red tulips. What more is there to say? It's going to very much match the bright red chairs that go with my table. And it's just a lovely little square, in very good condition. I have a rule for myself now because, I've recently started collecting vintage textiles, and my rule at the moment is try to prioritise buying textiles without stains, because there are still, I'm not saying that the ones with stains couldn't be reused. I'm sure I could find something and put a little bit of embroidery over the top or repurpose the bits that were not stained, but this place that I went to today had so many beautiful textiles. I wanted to buy all of them, and so I tried to prioritise buying ones that were in very good nick, just to give myself a bit of a framework so I didn't buy every single thing in the shop. So that was the first thing I got. And I got another vintage tablecloth, also with some red tones in it, which will match my table nicely. And it's a lovely little square. Hopefully I'm showing you the right side. I think I am. I like that it was a circle within a square. I love it. So nice to find treasures. And you know, I've decided too that anything I buy, I want them to be things that I'm going to use. You know, I don't want them to sit in a cupboard. They're going to be cherished and used. Because I think I used to have an idea that, you know, things are too precious because they're old or what have you. And yes, I want to take care of them, but I don't want to put them in a cupboard. I want to give them new life and enjoy them and cherish them by using them. I think I've just repeated myself there, but hopefully you get what I mean. Then I bought a crochet blanket. Oh, sorry about that. A bag nearly fell over. We don't want that. And I'm very well aware that crochet is, you know, a simple thing. I've tried it myself a couple of times. I haven't really taken to it. I'm sure I'll try it again at some point. But I just love how bright and cheerful granny square blankets are. This one's made out of wool fibre, and I thought, yeah, I could make something like this, but someone else has poured their love into it and it's sitting there not being used, and in the meantime I can wrap myself up in it while I'm sitting on my couch at home. So, and I loved the bright, vibrant colours of this one. So yes. I also think it's like a great car blanket. Great one for, you know, having in the car over your knees when I've got the kids in the back, and yeah, I just think it's a great size. And yeah, it just spoke to me. It made me feel happy, and it was reasonably priced, so I snapped it up. What am I going to show you next? Oh, this was a sweet little thing. And I really like it because it's something that's been repurposed by someone. So there was a little stall where old wool blankets had been made into other items. So someone has made this beautiful little pouch, which is lined with this cute old tablecloth, tea towel rather. It's that tea towel fabric. And I just thought someone had just put a lot of effort into making this, and I love the bright turquoise colour. And I thought, you know, it's going to be a great little notions pouch for cross stitch or English paper piecing on the go, or maybe even a little clutch, you know, for a dinner out where I just want to take my, you know, my phone, my keys and my card. So I thought I'd get a lot of use out of it, and the colour just, basically the colour jumped out at me, and I thought, yep, you're coming home with me. So what else did I get? This was also another colour-based purchase. And I called my mum and I said, Mum, you're probably going to laugh at me because I'm buying all the things that you had in your childhood because they're cool to me now. And she was like, she thought it was very funny and cute. But this is an old cake tin. I'm going to use it for a quilting project. I'm finding that, yeah, with my English paper piecing and things that I'm doing at the moment, it's nice to have a tin for each project I've got on the go, because I found that I'm not capable of only having one project and restraining myself. I don't really restrain myself with my hobbies. You know, I have to have discipline and restraint in my professional life, and with my hobbies I like to let myself run free a little bit more and have as many projects as my heart desires, and stitch on the things I want when I want. So I've started quite a few quilting projects recently, and I just thought this tin would be fantastic to keep one in. It's a great size, and once again, colours just made my heart sing. I think I was, you know, in a similar colour range vibe today with the things that jumped out at me. So that's that one. What else do I have? Oh yes, this was cute. And now I'm a bit torn about this one because it is in such good condition as what it is. So it's an apron, and it's embroidered. And what the reason I couldn't walk past it is because of this bird. Like, oh my goodness, stitch all the birds, save the stitches with the bird. Like, it is just, like, I could not leave that bird there. And part of me wants to take out this bird bit and stitch it into a quilt, like as a center panel in a quilt or something like that. Because I just think it would be nice if it was featured. But then the other part of me thinks, well, this apron, you know, is still so usable as an apron, and maybe I should just use it as one. Don't know. I'm very, very torn. But it's had the hand sort of crocheted edges. It's got beautiful yellow on the pocket. It's got a pocket, which we like that. And that bird, like, I'm sorry that the creases in this is probably making it difficult to see, but I'll zoom right in with the bird. Look how beautiful it is. I love those colours. So it came home with me. And there's this lovely little red flower at the top as well. So that was a nice stitch to save. I was very taken by it. I must admit, I am leaning towards repurposing that bird part of it as a panel in the middle of a quilt, because I'd really like to feature it. But yeah, I'd be really interested in your thoughts. So let me know in a comment below. And then I found, sorry for the crinkle of the paper, found this little coffee pot. It doesn't have a, just trying to think, this person has wrapped it so expertly and I'm about to unexpertly unwrap it. It's not by, this is not by any particular maker. I know a lot of people collect things based on, you know, designer or maker. For me, if it's cute, I will like it. It says Japan on the bottom, but no maker. But the flowers spoke to me, basically. So this is one side. And this is the other. So I can see some Nigella, marigolds or zinnias there, I think. Maybe calendula. But basically, it was just so happy and bright. I could see myself using it as a pot, or a coffee pot, or as a beautiful vase for when I like to grow blooms in spring and summer. So I like to have bunches of flowers in my house, but I was mindful of the fact that often blooms that you buy at the supermarket, they've got a lot of mileage on them. It's not that sustainable, and so I thought I'll, you know, grow them at home, and so I do. I grow dahlias and zinnias, and I can pick as many bunches as I like, and I also have enough bunches to give away to family and friends. And so yeah, I thought that this might be nice to use as a bit of a vase. Obviously, you know, it's not going to, it's dual use, it's dual use. I can use it in, not just when I want to put flowers in it. But yeah, it made me very happy. So I got that. And then I thought, okay, that's, you know, and I'd pick this up and I will show you this next, but I'd got all this stuff and I thought, yep, that's my annual antiquing budget done. I feel really happy. I've, you know, saved up for this and this is my treat and really happy. And then I saw the Kokeshi dolls and I thought, oh no, because if you've watched some of my previous videos, you know that I collect them, and these were well priced, and there were some ones that were unique to what I have. So, you know, I've got a small collection, but I'm mindful of, if I'm going to collect more of them, I want to diversify my collection and get ones that are a bit unique to what I've already got. These ones fit that. And then I got a lovely message from my partner saying that he'd like to buy me a gift while I was out antiquing, and it is something that I'd like to please get it as a gift from him. And so I did. I bought myself 2 Kokeshi dolls, and I'll share them with you now. I'm decided I'm going to have to start naming them. So any name ideas, please let me know. And the lady in the antique stall, she was fantastic. She said that she started naming hers, so that's where, you know, the idea for me to name mine has started to come from. And that in lockdown, on their Instagram page, which I'm going to have to look up, they did little profiles of each of them as they were in their isolation, so that would have been fun. I love the idea that they have personalities and that each are individual and unique. And she also said that she likes to give a Kokeshi doll to a new mother if she has a friend who becomes a new parent. And I thought, oh, that's really sweet. That's an idea I might keep in the back of my mind, because I think that's really, there's a lovely sentiment behind that. So what attracted me to this one was that it is, the details are mainly painted in black, and the ones that I have at home are usually a mixture of red and black. So, and these are also a bit smaller than the ones I have at home. So I thought this guy would be a nice, they would be a nice addition to my collection. So this is Kokeshi number 1. And then the other Kokeshi I adopted today is this beautiful one. So she's slightly, I'm assuming she's a she, should not assume, but slightly bigger, but still a lot smaller than the ones that I have in my collection at home. And what attracted me to them was the beautiful cherry blossoms painted on them. So thank you very much to my partner for helping me to get these. All right, the pièce de résistance. Let's see what's in this sewing box. When it said sewing box and contents, I thought, oh, this will be fun. So it's a treasure trove already, I can see. So it's got this insert that I've taken out. There's quite a lot of bits and bobs in here, so hopefully you're okay with a longer video. If this sort of thing doesn't interest you, probably. See you later. See you in my next video. But yeah, I'm already delighted. Look, there's these little wooden cotton reels. And actually, while I've been staying here, there's a little display of wooden cotton reels. And I've been attracted to collecting these before, but I thought, I don't really know what I'd do or display with them. And so now that I've had this idea based on the display here, which I'll put in a picture, so you know what I'm talking about. So here. Now I'm tempted. So of course I want to use what's usable in terms of the thread, but having a little display of these I think takes my fancy. Here's another one. There's some plastic ones as well. This jar says Vegemite on the top. That's cool. It's vintage Vegemite packaging, and it looks like it's full of little diamantes and pearl beads. Someone's treasures that they've collected. They look like they might have come off a piece of clothing, or it'd be intended for embellishment of clothing. So I've got lots and lots of cotton reels here. I might start showing them 2 at a time. Of course they're weathered and aged, but I'll use what I can from them. Whoop. This is exciting, isn't it? Some more modern ones as well. I'm very excited about those 2 wooden ones at the start. I think they're standouts for me so far. Some invisible thread, which I've never used. probably won't use because it's a bit plasticky for my liking. Oh, this one's got a needle sticking into it. You get the drift, I think. Lots of vibrant colours. Lots of black. I can imagine that, you know, at the end, you know, if someone ever picks up my stash in an antique shop, that they might find that I have lots of, you know, white and black. I probably should focus on using up one row at a time before collecting more. There we go. So many cotton reels in here. Hopefully not showing you them one by one is okay with you, because there's lots. More black, more pink, some white that looks pretty soiled, but I'm very keen to use what I can from this. Oh, some blues and browns. Whoops, now I'm dropping them on the floor. Okay, so you get the idea, lots of cotton or poly cotton to use. This one seems to be wrapped in plastic, which means that it's probably unsoiled and able to be used, so I'll do that. All right, just so that I don't make a huge mess, I'm going to put all of those back in. Okay, measuring tape, very useful. Variety of needles, unrusted, which is good. We've got a crochet hook, which would be good. Variety of needles. I have to figure out, like, some of these are tiny. I have to figure out what their intended use is. These ones say cruel on them, so that's handy to know what they're for. What is this? This says auto threader on it. I have not used one of them before. I'd be interested to hear if anyone has experience using those. More needles. This says multi-purpose needles for household repairs. Oh, this is interesting. Each needle is actually labelled with a different thing. So one says coats, leather, sacks, bags, tents, canvases, chairs, sofas, carpets, and heavy work. So that's cool that they're individually named. And, you know, because I'm new to a lot of crafting, you know, I would have originally thought, oh, you know, a needle's a needle. But I'm now really learning how useful it is to have the right needle for the right application. So I've been going in between doing a lot of cross stitch and then English paper piecing, and you know, like the English paper piecing requires a sharp needle, quite a longer sharp needle, and then the cross stitch is a shorter blunter needle. And yeah, I think before I came to crafting I would have thought that both were able to be used for both applications. Certainly not. And having the right, I found that having the right needle for the right application has improved my stitching enormously, which is good. I'm even starting to figure out which brand ones I like the best. You know, and I'm really getting into it now. We've got some buttons labelled Asta buttons, which is good. Probably can't see it on the camera, but they are, there is a pattern, like there's some ridges in them. That's good. It's good to collect some buttons. They've got another lot of the same. And then there is just a whole tray of buttons. I'll get out some, so there's some that match each other. So there's quite a few of ones like this, which I think are really cute. Hopefully you can see. I don't have my usual setup, so hopefully you can see. So they're really cute. And then there's some like this, which seem to have a crown on them. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. And it's very shiny, so apologies for the lack of visibility. So a lot like that. And then just, it seems to be just someone's button odds and ends. I'll see if I can do this without tipping the whole thing out. That's not working. You get the idea though, right? So there's buttons. Very poor lighting. But yeah, it'll be good to have these because, you know, when you've done a knitting project and you're looking for a button on a cardigan, and there's lots of little white buttons that would be useful for babies' cardigans, like those little white pearlescent ones. So yeah, useful. And a couple of press studs in there. Fantastic. You can never have too many buttons, can you? So that was that tray. So quite a lot of treasure there. Now let's see what's in the rest of the sewing box. Ooh, okay. So there's a little tin which says Dorcas registered trademark, made in England, dressmakers steel pins. And to be honest, I'm just in love with that little tin. Oh, and in there is no pins at all. There's some diamantes and then a little jewelry thing that looks like it needed to be repaired. And diamantes, like those tiny little plasticky ones. Can you see that? That. But I'm very happy to have that tin, to be honest. I think, well, it's not a tin actually, it feels like plastic. But it's just a cute colour. It'll be useful. This seems to be the pins that might have been in that tin in a unknown container. They look a bit tarnished in there. I'm not sure how useful they will be. Little pegs, useful for, you know, when you get Christmas cards, you could string them up on a string at home and display them, so that'll be good. My kids also like them. Some white satin ribbon, which the lighting is not going to really show you very well, but that's what it is. Some pretty lace. Has been nicely pinned together so that it, but there you go. That's pretty. We got to use that for something along the edge of a dress or something. I haven't done much clothing making, but it's very much something I would like to get into. So we'll see. Some elastic. I won't unroll that, but yep. Some more lace. I'll have to unroll this a little bit so that we can see the pattern. Oh, this is nice. Very pretty. My granny, when I was little, for her birthday or Christmas, put together a little box of sewing supplies for me. And I still have that sewing box. And she gave me little bits of lace and ribbon, and yeah, they're just treasures that I like having and looking through, and these can now be added to that. So some more lace. This is thick lace. It's beautiful. Don't know why, but the motifs in that remind me a little bit of pretzels. Does not diminish the beauty of it at all, just makes me hungry. Another piece of precious lace. Just unpinning these carefully. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look how beautiful that is. I love that scalloped edge. Just repin that carefully. Okay. Coming to the end of our treasures here, I think. There's some, what is this? Crochet cotton, it says Willie's 20, it says 20 grams. So it's like, I think that the lighting here is probably blowing the colour out of this. It's a very sort of warm, clotted cream colour. It's sort of more beige than the lighting here is allowing you to see, which is also making me look very pale. But oh well, I'm on holidays. I'm just chilling with you guys. No need to be fancy for that, hey? So we've got some ribbons. Lovely cream ribbon, a pink ribbon, and a brown ribbon. A ball of yarn, you know, like a grey colour with some needles hiding in it, so I might unwrap that carefully and rebundle it. A zip, the all-purpose zipper, pale pink, unconditionally guaranteed, strong and flexible, self-healing, ironable, Imperial Chemical Industries of Australia and New Zealand Limited. That's the manufacturer. So that'll come in handy if I ever start making clothes. I have no idea what this is in here. Let's get it out and see what it is. It's not, well, it doesn't appear to be very interesting, but feels like maybe a bit of oh yeah, it's plasticky on the back, so maybe it's like fusible interfacing, maybe? I don't know. This is fun, isn't it? Hopefully, I mean, as I said, this is something that I've allowed myself to do, that I think, you know, like I did it, I went antiquing a year ago. That's when I fell in love with collecting spools, which I've shown in some of my other videos, which I didn't come across any large spools today. But I've just thought, you know, to make sure that this is something that doesn't fill up my house too quickly and is financially sustainable for me. It's something that I'll do, you know, allow myself to go on a big antiquing day once a year. I think that's, you know, and that's sort of different than op shop or thrift stores. Antiquing stores are a little bit more expensive, but it's sort of a bit more curated, so you're more likely to find a treasure, in my experience anyway. So it's, yeah, it's nice to be able to do this as a treat. But, you know, if I went more regularly, I can imagine I would get addicted to just finding old sewing boxes with contents in them and making videos for you all, because it's just fun to see what's going to be inside, isn't it? So I can feel that pull. I'm going to resist. There's some lovely other ribbon in here. It's very sparkly. It's purple and gold. Very cool. My kids would love that. And then there's some embroidery thread. So it is, what brand? Coats. Oh no, it's not. It says Coats on the back, but it's Anchor. Cool. So there's a pink. Let's see if it has a number on it. It's 052. This will be good to put to use in my cross stitch. And then I'm just trying to prevent the little label coming off this one. Anyway, This one is not Anchor, it is unknown and it's Semco, but I don't know what shade, but it's a nice blue. And what else have we got in here? Some other odds and ends. So we've got some more elastic, which is very useful, some more ribbon, more elastic, another zipper. This one's in white, but it's gone yellow over time, so got some of that sparkly stretchy stuff, you know, the sequins on string. I think I might let my kids also use this for their dress up box, they'd love that. Got some more embroidery floss, still it's numbered 151, it is Semco brand. A green zip. The last two things are some black elasticized string and some purple ribbon. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed going through that treasure box with me. Yeah, I'd love to hear any stories of little treasure boxes you've found out and about. And yeah, I fully intend to put as much to this as use as possible. Definitely the box is going to be put to use straight away for my own supplies. And yeah, I've just had a fun time being out and about searching for treasures today. And I hope you've enjoyed sharing my little antique treasure haul today with me. Okay, until I see you next, take each day one stitch at a time, and I look forward to giving you a regular Flosstube update soon.